Hello, hello, and welcome again to Sunshine in My Pocket. I don't know why I thought of that, but I figured, man, I need to be more creative in how I actually approach the videos. Anywho, today we're going off script as well. In all honesty, like two themes popped in my head today, and I got excited. I have not been recording as much as as much as I normally would. Normally, I would be doing every day, but it feels like I kind of like leaving a gap of like 5 days or something allows me to kind of like recalibrate my mood instead of always kind of like exposing it. The best way I could explain it uh, so everyone's planted a pepper at one point or seen a pepper plant before, right? So the trick to peppers is like after they bear, you kind of prune them, and if you do that, you get two or more harvests, and it lasts longer. And it's the same philosophy applies to like bigger trees. The more consistent you are with like limiting their energy output, I guess, the best way I could actually explain it. Because you trim like the parts of the tree that have become a bit overgrown or maybe just kind of consuming a lot more energy than they should. And by doing that, you guarantee fresh shrubs, fresh branches to come out. And then you guarantee like more fruit and like all that good stuff. Uh, So basically, for the past 5 days, I didn't shoot any videos. But the day I did, it was like 4 videos at once. So it was like full blown, like empty exhaustion. And today I was thinking I wanted to actually record because like I either did this or kind of like there's just what I've been more into coding, and that was today's theme. Today's theme was kind of like a broken ego. And I always speak about it's actually like a pretty good theme, right? A broken ego. But so like the process of actually, I have no idea what the process is. There are millions of plans, and I'm following every single thing that makes sense for me to grab at the moment. And I'm trying my best to do that without any like, I have no idea what's going to come out of it, right? That's the feeling. And it really doesn't matter because all I want to do is just kind of like do the stuff that are at the forefront of my mind. And at best, map them better in order for me to understand where to prioritize and how to spend the time in my day. And I'm not gonna lie, there's a whole lot of like flowy moments where I'm just either thinking, and the pace seems to be consistently getting better, not speed wise though. Just like the things that I'm actually like learning are kind of like finding their unique place. So today's theme is a broken ego. Why? Because for 2 months to 3 months, I was trying to actually code the website, and it really was by force because I really felt like I had to sell the website. I had to like get somebody to invest in it. Or I need to find some form of money making something in order for me to be able to sustain myself for that. And naturally, the universe ends up kind of like calling onto me and going like, "You've been somebody I know really was like, you've been talking about this for a while, and I want to invest in you." And it's like suddenly, like I went into that stoic state that I did 2 weeks ago. And so what happened, kind of like the part that I have to be like researching for funding or like being an entrepreneur and all that stuff kind of died. Why? Because there's absolutely no need for it right now. And it got emptied from my head. And with that time that I had, I wrote differently. I I am coding differently. I'm actually learning a lot more now because I'm taking the time while properly working with the UI UX designer in order to like design a much better like flow of the website, because my like resistance happens on many different levels. You don't know why you're not really like doing something well, And the best thing you can do is reflect on yourself naturally. But sometimes it's not just yourself. Sometimes it's whatever it is you're doing is kind of like not really harmonious with you, or something about it is not really harmonious with the whole vision and theme. And it's a beautiful way to kind of like back and forth and just like kind of share your experience with yourself as you reflect on it. But when we say a broken ego, it's because like really programming is such a fucking humbling experience. And you really have to like you throw any form of thought. I think this, I think this, I think this. It's burnt out of you. I think that's the most genuine way, because every single time you do something and you go like it's still not working, and for some fucked up reason, man, everyone else is like, oh, it worked for me, but other things wouldn't work for them that would easily work for you. And when that happens, like you really have to like just keep asking different questions just to be able to Google different shit. Right? Like I could ask you a questions like, how was today? Oh, the weather was nice. If that was enough, you kind of like succeeded. But what if that doesn't work? And somebody goes like another question and go like, no, why would you consider this weather nice? And then basically a bigger picture, like the weather's nice because the sun is up, it's like sunset right now, it's feeling a bit breezy, and then basically more and more details kind of like fill that kind of like questioning form. And just operating as a programmer versus operating as an entrepreneur. The entrepreneur really feels like pretentious. Even though that's exactly what I do, right? But it feels pretentious. It feels like it's an uncharted territory because you have your own idea, you have your own vision. And it feels like you're actually going on an adventure. And you either have to be strong enough to handle that adventure on your own. Fuck man, it's like every way, any way I think, it's always based on how I want society to be, right? But yeah, I'm either strong enough to handle the adventure on my own and be one of these people, which means until then I kind of have to like work on my strength, or I have to be just kind of I have to like find people with me, and then basically we're kind of like we form a team, we form a pack, we form a what do they call them? I was just watching an anime that has them. Adventurers. I'll Google it eventually. But forming a unit basically and going and conquering the world as that team. So that when I say a broken ego, it's because like I feel like that part of me that was always kind of like thinking, how am I gonna get this? What should I do this? How would I sell it? And selling and right, like in the tone of voice and all these things that I was kind of like trying to do in order for when the research that I was doing, in order when I meet people, I get better at like selling my idea in order for me to increase my chances at getting investments and all that stuff. And actually, I don't see myself as successful. But that part of the actual like my involvement when it comes to that part is not necessary for now. It kind of allowed me to kind of to fall into the actual like building of the website state. And then I started talking to people because I had money in order to build the website. And the more people I talked about when it came to advice, the more it changed and it regulated. It became easier and simpler and better and more direct and all that good stuff. And then I started kind of like having different ideas on how I could actually establish it. And I started researching different things and it became a lot more core oriented. Naturally, because like anytime you're on an adventure, you're venturing into unknown. You have no fucking idea what's in front of you. And because of that, it's always kind of like you have to play your confidence, I guess. You have to play your skills and you have to like within your level understand how like far you can reach and what are the things that might actually jump at you. And these are what you consider. So like rest and activity and the balance between like now is a stage for you to kind of like prepare for something. And then is a stage. I mean, that's the best way actually to put it. There's a stage of preparation, and then there's the stage of actually like exploration. And the explorational stage is more like you think differently when you're preparing. When you're preparing, you need a lot more consistency, you need humility, you need to find people to teach you. When you're exploring, you kind of like have to pick things from the outside on your own and translate them in your own way and apply whatever you learned. So there's this kind of like back and forth, and then you, with that, you notice things that you could actually prepare for better for next time, and then you go back and all these kinds of stuff. And so the theme of a broken ego is just like, I think the joy of me actually understanding things, whatever I'm working on, like that feeling of I'm understanding differently, I'm understanding more, kind of like clicking in your head as something completely like new and beautiful. It's a shame, man. For the longest time, I couldn't understand this feeling, right? I think there's a certain kind of like I'm proud of myself kind of feeling. I don't know if anyone actually like made it this far. Fuck yeah! But if anyone actually like kind of sees things differently, I'm excited to see what to try to understand how you approached your past for these kinds of feelings to be unique and like noticeable. It's a video. The elevator's by.